It was interesting to hear that Bambara was considered the root of Dioula. What was your comment? I think that that's a very popular conception. As you hear in the episode, a lot of people specifically would say, when I said, oh, where's a good place to learn Dioula? They'd say, oh, if you want to learn Bambara, you should go to Mali. And what's interesting about that is it really points to the way that Bambara today is the sociolinguistic high form, especially in Dioula-speaking areas. People normally think of Bambara as better Dioula. But research actually shows us that it's a much more complicated story, and that historically there are words and grammatical structures found in Dioula, not just in kind of lingua franca Dioula that you hear at the market, but also in the Dioula that people in ethnic Dioula communities use that are much older, that we find in Maninka that's spoken in Guinea and Western Mali, and there are even some grammatical forms that are used in Mandinka, so even further west, near the Gambia, Senegambia, that area, where those are shared both towards Senegambia and the Dioula-speaking areas of Cote d'Ivoire and Burkina, which points to the fact that Dioula is arguably older and has some features that Bambara doesn't have, or Bambara is the divergent form. So in that sense, I don't think that it's necessarily 100% true to say that that Dioula comes from Bambara. I think of all of them as kind of branches of Manding with their own different histories and stories. Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, I think that people typically think of Dioula just as people that are uninitiated, and specifically that are not ethnically Manding or native speakers of the language. They tend to think of Dioula as the poor man's Bambara, but actually I think that really ignores the ethnic Dioula communities and the kind of historical ties to Manding in general. But it is what people think, but actually Dioula is much more complex, and I hope in this video it kind of starts to gesture towards that, even if we didn't get the full story and there's a lot more to say.